So most recently, I was the executive director of the Bluegrass Rape Crisis Center 3 years ago before we opened this restaurant. And the reason I even came to open a restaurant is because of this. My whole life, professional life, it feels like raising money. I was alumni director at Berea KY for 9 years, and all I ever did was plan reunions and write to donors and have fundraising events. And then I went to run the Rape Crisis Center because I wanted to be a part of violence prevention, and I wanted to lobby in Frankfurt for better laws for victims, and I wanted to create programs that would help survivors heal. And I spent 80% of my time also doing the same thing, raising money, fundraisers. Many of the fundraisers and charity balls had ticket prices so high that the people we were serving, you know what I'm talking about, Becca, couldn't even afford to attend, and it just felt wrong. It felt off. There was a turning point when a very well-meaning restaurant in Lexington do what restaurants do because they want to be a part of things, and they offered to donate 20% of their proceeds on this one slowest day of the year to the Rape Crisis Center. And so my husband, and we have an 11-year-old, and our son, we drove the hour from our home in Berea, had a wonderful meal, and the next day I got a check for $62.50. And my annual budget at that time was $1.1 million. And I just knew that there's something broken here, there's something wrong, that nonprofits and professionals who are social workers and therapists and people with counseling degrees and legal people, they should be able to focus on doing things to build and strengthen communities. And small businesses have a great untapped opportunity to really garner their social networks and their capital to maximize the impact they have on the communities that are keeping them in business. And so around that time, I was I just did a TED Talk. Can you tell I'm using the language of the TED Talk? It's still from there.
You're doing good.
Around that same time, I was celebrating my 20th college reunion, and this was about 4 years ago. And I had 30 friends over to my house. I hosted them for dinner. And my mom, who's Thai, lives with us, and she fixed one meal and one meal alone. It was the meal that this young man just had, and it's curry noodles, which is a yellow curry, slow braised beef, rice noodles, bean sprouts, crushed peanuts. And there were 30 people in that room from Corbin and Frankfurt and Raleigh, North Carolina, and I had a guy there from New York. And hello.
Hello, how are you?
What are you doing here?
I'm listening to you speak.
You have that on tape now.
You're good.
Darlene and I, in my other life, we knew each other.
It's still in our life. That's okay. Yeah.
So I had 30 friends over, and I had people in that group that were straight up like meat and potatoes. Like all they would ever order when they went out to restaurants are chicken fingers and french fries. And all 30, I'm not even kidding, every bowl was as clean as this bowl right here. So I knew that Mom's curry noodle had this magical power to somehow bring the people together. And so a year after that, I quit my job at the Rape Crisis Center, and along with my husband, Adam, who worked in IT at Berea College for 16 years, he also quit his job, and we opened Noodle Nirvana. We had never worked in restaurants before. We didn't know what we were doing, really. Everything we sort of created from the ground up, but we knew we had a wonderful product, and we knew that we wanted to create a different kind of business that would really have an impact on the community. And so we are, if you've been through the line, we're a build your own noodle bowl company similar to Chipotle or Subway, but instead of building burritos and sandwiches, you're building noodle bowls. Customers go through 3 easy steps: choose a noodle, choose a broth or sauce, and then choose a protein, and then we garnish the bowl with fresh vegetables. During growing season, we get our vegetables from local farms, Berea Urban Farm and Lazy 8 Stock Farm. When we can, we source our food from local Kentucky Proud food providers. We get our ramen from Pasta Garage in Lexington. We get our tea from Elmwood Inn, various places. And we start all of our staff from dishwasher to cooks at $10 an hour. And they get set schedules with set days off because we want them to also have a full and balanced life outside of work. And at the core of what we do, if you saw the wall when you walked in, our nonprofit wall, is the philosophy, and those words are written up there, that we belong to each other. And it's a simple reminder for myself, primarily every day, so that I remember why I did this, why we're doing what we're doing here, why we decided to leave a two-income family to throw our hats into a business with one of the highest failure rates and lowest profit margins, and we're feeling that, but we're so much happier doing it. And so our business model is that we partner with one single nonprofit every year, and during that time we donate 20% of our first Tuesday proceeds to that nonprofit for 12 months, for an entire year. And we tell their story on the wall that stays up for a whole year, and then we change it out at the end of the year. And we also, this kind of evolved, this whole model has evolved. It didn't look like this when I wrote my business plan, but we also are able to donate all of our tips to the nonprofit. So when we first started, we're like, our staff won't need tips. This is fast casual. You know, when you go to Panera, or you're serving yourself and they make $10 an hour, that's better than having to rely on restaurant wages and tips. But people gave, they still gave. And then our staff, the turnover rate in restaurants is extremely high. We practically have none. A third of our employees have been with us from the beginning. A third have been with us between 1 and 2 years, and the rest are people that have full-time jobs that are only doing this as a part-time gig. But our employees are like, let's share these tips, like with our nonprofit. That'll give them an extra boost. Well, our first year we partnered with a small organization called the New Opportunity School for Women. Are you all familiar with it? Work with Appalachian women to help them overcome barriers to education, employment, and financial independence. And the first year, along with our customers and our staff, we raised $30,000 for the New Opportunity School. The second year, we partnered with the Madison County Food Bank's backpack program that provides food for children on weekends and holidays when they don't have access to school cafeterias. Second year, we raised $44,000. This year, we're partnering with a Madison County-based nonprofit called Hope Swings Domestic Violence Program. They are a small 16-bed residential facility that provides emergency shelter and programs for victims of domestic violence. And in the first 6 months, we've already raised over $20,000 for them. So we're super excited about sort of the trends that we're seeing, but most, any business mentor I've ever had, any business owner that I talk to now, sometimes my own accountant will tell me that this is not a good idea, that it's not sustainable, that profit margins are so low that you can't do this, that it's not gonna work forever. But, this is our third year. July it'll be our third year. And despite the fact that last year we gave away over $40,000, because the model is shared, it didn't come out of my pocket completely, it came out of ours, our customers, our staff who are giving up their tips. Last year, despite giving away over $40,000 to charities, and despite paying our employees $2.75 more an hour than most fast casual restaurants in our region, we were right in line with industry standards when it came to food costs and occupancy costs. And we were higher than most fast casual restaurants in our industry when it came to profits. Like, we actually had a higher profit. So we were a little bit higher when it came to payroll costs, a little bit, but we knew that going in, and we're okay with it. Like I said, our employees are our most valuable ambassadors of our mission, and we're just, it has paid off very well. So here we are at this juncture of trying to figure out nothing. Again, this wasn't part of the plan. We just wanted to do better than $62.50 and see where that would go. Currently, we are. Again, we don't leave here. We work here, 60 to 80 hours a week, and Kedeki's always like trying to get me involved with things, and she knows, and she's super understanding, but I think I'm just now 3 years into it able to step away for anything. Before it was just, just solid, just we're making everything. Oh, everything we make is also from scratch. Nothing frozen, no MSG, so we're like slow cooking everything from 6 o'clock in the morning every day. And these are, most of them are family recipes. But we have been approached by 4 different individuals who are interested in franchising the business model. So, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time, because we have a lot of work to do to scaling it. I think we probably could do that, but we have a lot of work to do to protect this business model. I don't have assurances from everybody that they want the entire model. They might be excited about the fact that Mom's Curry Noodle Bowls, that we sell 1,000 noodle bowls a week in this little tiny town, but they might not want to pay our staff $10 an hour, and they might think that, well, giving away all tips is too much. How about just half? And this model, I've come to believe, would not work at all, because if we didn't pay employees what we do, they might be resentful about giving away the tips. If we didn't give away tips, our customers might not give as much as they do if it was just going to employees. If we didn't have the social enterprise model at the beginning, I don't know that people would have even come to taste Mom's Curry Noodle Bowl. So that got them in the door, but then they came back because it was so good. So everything sort of connects with each other, and I wouldn't be able to even guarantee success if somebody wanted to just pick pieces of it to go. But that's kind of where we are. We're super excited and humbled and grateful of this community that has just embraced, and now our community is excited about being more involved. They're like, who's going to be the next nonprofit? How can we have a say in that? And the first year, I just picked whoever I wanted, actually, because I had worked for boards for so long and there was so much red tape. I was like, I just want this to be easy for a nonprofit. I want a cause that speaks to me. But our second year, our staff helped. Everybody sort of picked, and we visited everything. And we don't have very strict guidelines other than we want them to be smaller, and we are interested in organizations that don't have designated fundraisers, because it's harder for them to raise money. And of course, we go through great lengths to make sure that they are inclusive and don't discriminate. That's a big part of what we do. We site visit the ones that we want to work with.
Are you looking for organizations that are based in Madison County?
Yes, we want to stay as local. Yeah, definitely. That's,
You mentioned a TEDx talk. Is that
Yes.
available online somewhere?
it is not. It was just 2 weeks ago, but it will be soon. It was in Corbin. It was a wonderful experience.
We'd like to share that with our members. Yeah,
But you just heard it, kind
yeah.
of.
I don't know. No, that's fine.
It's
That's
very
fine.
similar to
In
that.
person. So Mae, what have you learned about marketing and the taste buds of people in this area?
So, I've had to be, this is a long answer to your question. I've had to be creative. So when you open a restaurant, I mentioned those profit margins, they're like 6%, like they're low, right? And so when you have a model that has salaries that are higher and that gives away substantially, you have to be creative about making that up somewhere. So we've had to really, my husband and I really have to dig. How are we going to make this sustainable? So what we did last August is we have this beautiful building. You guys must have, some of you heard that this was the original movie theater. We're here since 6 o'clock making this broth. We're like, this building is just sitting there. How can we leverage it to create new revenue streams? So last August, we started a donut business. Right, that line that you were just in, if you came in the mornings, currently our winter hours are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it would be full of sprinkles and cookie crumbles and maple glaze and crumbled bacon. And so we use that, and that's a great, it's not a part of this business model at all, but it just generates revenue for us, which gives us a little bit of breathing room and for us to be able to do everything else, which is great. But Paul's asking that because it's been so interesting. Noodle Nirvana, we spent $0 in marketing, really. We did spend money to help us with you helped with that, a customer loyalty program that is wonderful. But in terms of marketing to get people in, the only money that we spent was on, we didn't spend any, it's all social media, completely. Instagram and Facebook, period. And it's been effective. I don't know that we can have capacity to have more customers here, other than special events. But donuts, completely different ball game. Like no matter what I do, I can't. People don't hear about these donuts. So I got coupons. Like I've never like paid for like a flyer, and I just did that, and it worked out all these people in, but totally different segments of our population of 15. Is it 15,000 in Berea? So noodle people, they get all of their information from us via social media. They pay with credit cards. Donut people are not following us on social media, and they pay with cash. It's so.
So you put coupons
Interesting.
in like the local papers?
It was like a flyer that goes. It's called the Town Money Saver. Yeah, and we had probably 30 people that came in the first week, and we're giving away 3 free donuts. They're small donuts, but yeah, that worked. Got them in, and they spent about the people that came in with their free coupon. The 30 people, they collectively spent about $200. So, but I need to know like if they'll come back. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Wouldn't you say that maybe having a mission, kind of a social enterprise mission, has helped kind of your outreach and getting kind of a loyal customer base?
Oh, absolutely. I think when we first opened, like nobody would know about this little noodle shop. But I think immediately one of the Lexington stations, like somebody heard that we had this nonprofit wall, and they wanted to highlight New Opportunity School. And so they came in and did a story. I think that definitely at the beginning is what got people in the door, and it was our job to get them to come back for the food. But yeah, I think especially millennials, like they want an easy way to participate in building and strengthening their communities, and they want it to be just something they don't have to think about, not something they have to like donate to, but I'm gonna eat this bowl of noodles and it's gonna be made in Lexington, and the ramen's made in Lexington, and when I eat here, I'm supporting a women's domestic violence shelter, like, and it's just easy, and yeah, I definitely think it brings people in.
I could be wrong on this, but it seems like, do you capitalize at all on any of your relationships with vendors at all?
Yes.
Like okay, can you tell me about that? Because I thought that was fascinating.
Yes, so last year and I need to probably be more intentional about that. But last year it was the food bank partnership, and we have food distributors that we work with, several. We have Creation Garden, Cisco. So when Cisco, our largest one, found out that we were partnering with a food bank, they wanted to partner with us, and they actually donated food directly into the backpacks of the children. And I try all the time, like I try to get our banks, our insurance people, and people who are trying to win my business. That's one of the first conversations I have with them. Well, this is our business model. When we would love you to partner with us. If you're doing it anyway, might as well like join our resources and have a bigger impact. I mean, everybody's doing it, you know. It's better than $62. $62.50. I keep going back to that number.
Do you cater as well?
We do. And I was just amazed at this the other day. I felt so proud. Like my mom's little curry noodle bowls. So 3 years ago, Berea did not have conferences where noodle bars were set up. Like it wasn't part of the culture to go to a conference or a meeting and there's a build your own noodle bar. And it just is now. And it's normal. We just catered for 50 people at Berea College on Monday, and they're just building their own noodle bars and pouring mom's curry, and it touched my heart. Like it's my childhood comfort food, you know. But yeah, we do cater, but I haven't gone outside of Richmond's as far as we've gotten, because I'm trying to figure out how to keep everything hot, travel.
Have to hold more conferences and meetings in Berea.
Well, we're so happy you hosted us and told the story. That's what we've been searching the 3 years of our mission of social enterprise and how it works is how do we get people, and you said from the beginning, I didn't even know I was a social enterprise. And that's one of the challenges that we have, and love for you to join our organization, and we want to find ways to share these kind of stories throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky and make some difference in communities, and especially in rural communities. I think one of the challenges is how do you make a difference? And you've got the plan, you've implemented the plan, and you've got a great story to tell.
I really, really do think that small businesses are an overlooked entity for being more active in the community. I think everybody does it. I really do think everybody does it, or they want to. But I think our efforts can be very scattered. And it's just not, people who run nonprofits know, like, it's so nice of you to donate, you know, this, or to have an event where you know, to highlight us for one night, but it takes the staff an incredible amount of time to coordinate that, to be there. And yeah, and there's just, I think that if we could work together more, or just
will.
really listen to what the needs of our community are, that we can make a bigger impact.
And this is replicable. You just need passionate people like yourself
And
that want to make a
I
difference.
try to tell every small business, and I will open up my books, my accounting books, and show people like the challenges and, you know, the numbers, because I think it's hard enough to be profitable, and it's so scary and it's so risky. And, you know, my husband and I, everything is in here, and we can barely afford health insurance now. We have a kid, and it's so scary. And to think and to give that away, give more away, it doesn't make any sense. But I think we just have to be creative. Like I said, I did not take $44,000 out of my pocket last year to give away, because if I did, we would not be here. Like, there's no way we could afford it. But there's creative ways, like, to utilize your business as a space to bring all the people together, to make it easy for them to do good, I think, especially restaurants. They come anyway to eat.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,